Many fed dead, 24 rescued as boat capsizes in Kogi. Abuja herbalist shoots self in stomach while testing bulletproof charm. Kano mechanics lament industry decline, seek support. On the international scene, Namibia faces election chaos as voting extended after irregularities. Hello and welcome to Trust TV Update. I am Hawa Gambo and here is the news. Many fell dead, while a total of 24 persons have been rescued in a boat accident in Kogi State. A statement by the Commissioner for Information and Communications, Kingsley Fanwo, on Saturday reported that a boat transporting passengers from Kupa Ebe to Kacha Market capsized near Bata Dambo, resulting in significant casualties. According to Fanwo, while rescue efforts are still ongoing, it has been confirmed that 24 victims have been rescued and are currently receiving medical care in nearby health facilities. He said Governor Ahmed Ododo has directed the State Emergency Management Agency SEMA to provide immediate relief materials to affected families. Additionally, the Ministry of Health has been instructed to ensure that survivors receive adequate medical attention. Property worth millions of naira have been destroyed following a fire outbreak at a spare parts market in the Idumota area of Lagos State. In a statement on Saturday, the Permanent Secretary of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, Olufemi Oke Osanyintolu, said the fire occurred on Friday night. Oke Osanyintolu said preliminary investigations showed that multiple buildings used as shops for sales of car spare parts were razed. Oke Osanyintolu added that no casualties nor injuries were recorded at the incident scene. He said dampening down had commenced to stamp out the remaining pockets of fire, noting that salvaging of valuable properties in the recovered shop was also ongoing at the time of this report. A mild drama played out when a native doctor identified as Ismaila Usman sustained gunshot injuries while testing a bulletproof charm in Kuchibi community in Buari Area Council of the FCT. A resident of Kuchibi, Samson Ayuba, said the incident happened on Thursday when the victim attempted to test the effectiveness of a self-made bulletproof and shot himself in the stomach. He said the native doctor collapsed instantly and attracted the attention of some neighbors who rushed to the scene and conveyed him to the hospital. Confirming the incident, spokeswoman of the FCT Police Command, SP Ade Josephine, said the victim used his locally made gun and shot himself in the stomach, resulting in injuries after a bulletproof charm failed. She said the police operatives from the Biazahin Division responded swiftly upon arriving the scene to discover the victim in a critical condition. According to her, in the aftermath of the incident, the police conducted a thorough search of the native doctor's house and recovered a handmade gun and an array of charms. The Nigerian police on Friday said its operatives have arrested 5 suspects allegedly involved in trans-border gun running. Disclosing this in a statement, the police public relations officer Olimuyiwa Adejobi identified the suspects as Adamu Noma, Matthew Audu, Andrew Poyi, Aminu Sani, and Aminu Talha, all males. He said they were apprehended by operatives of the Force Investigative Department Intelligence Response Team, FID-IRT, on November 18, 2024. Adejobi stated that upon arrest and conduct of a search, 10 locally fabricated AK-47 rifles, 5 Israeli AK-47 rifles, 1 revolver pistol, 1 pump-action rifle, 20 rounds of AK-47 ammunition and 1 welding machine for fabrication of rifles were recovered from the suspects. Federal High Court in Lagos has dismissed a fundamental rights suit filed by Okuneye Idris Olarewanju, popularly known as Bobrisky, against the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Bobrisky has sought 200 million naira from the EFCC for psychotic trauma and demanded 1 billion naira from the National Assembly for the violation of his rights to a fair hearing. He also urged the court to restrain the EFCC and the National Assembly from harassing, detaining, or declaring him wanted. Bobrisky has been embroiled in controversy after social media influencer Martins Ose leaked an audio recording alleging that he paid the EFCC 15 million naira to drop money laundering charges against him. Delivering judgment in the case, Justice Alexander Owoye ruled on November 28 that Bobrisky's claims of rights violation lacked merit and were unsupported by credible evidence. The EFCC spokesman Dele Owoye disclosed this in a statement on Friday. Justice Owoye also refused to award damages against the EFCC. Residents of the Federal Capital Territory have been reacting to the onset of the Harmattan season and its usual dusty winds, dry air, and thick hazes. With the change in weather that comes with the season, many have started to react differently to the new season. Trust TV's Antonia Ebohom reports that residents are also reporting adverse effects on their health. The report.
Harmattan is an annual season which usually takes place from November to March. It is usually hot and dry with humidity as low as 15% in the atmosphere. This season ushers in desert-like weather conditions with low humidity and also prevents rain from forming in the clouds. The dusty nature of the season can result in serious nose bleeding for some people and catarrh, cough, pains or headache for others. As a matter of fact, as individuals vary, so do effects of the Harmattan on them.
What's in at the face right now is normally the Harmattan is, but it's not too strong like just, but I think it's okay. It's okay, but it comes with fever and a lot of things.
Weather is something else, but we thank God for everything. I just discovered that in this time we are in, this catarrh, this cough, just recently I discovered I was having weakness of the body. Shoot, I even had purging, kind of, because of the weather, and I discovered it's cold that entered me. So what I do now is I manage myself. I don't rush into using cold water to bathe. Instead, I wait for the sun to come out. If I don't want to use warm water, I wait for the sun to come out. But if I'm in a hurry, I will use warm water.
While many complain about the harsh weather and its effect on their health, other residents still trust TV how happy they are to experience the Harmattan season.
Sometimes I use a nose cover to prevent the dust. Like I enjoy this season, yes, because it's my best season. I enjoy Harmattan. I like receiving the breeze, that comes with it. So I enjoy the season. It's not really I'm not feeling it that harsh. Yeah, I'm not feeling it that harsh. I enjoy the season, and it's because I have an oily face. It's the Harmattan, it dry as it nourish the face. It goes with my face, so I don't really feel it. I even get fairer this season.
To balance both divides, some spoke of preventive measures that can keep one away from season-based health challenges as well as dry skin.
For me, I feel dry and a bit sick. I do this weather, but I feel like now I'm at work. If I reach home, first thing I'll just boil hot water and take my bed and rub oil, plenty of the oil and oil. So that one, at least I will feel moisturized.
What we are challenging in this Harmattan season is that the place is very cool, and so I know that if the place is very cool, I have to put maybe sweater, or if I don't want maybe catarrh to disturb me, I will avoid of drinking cold water. So to make my health to be good on my skin, sometimes I used to, yes, it's good for me to drink water again. without maybe cool season or not cool season, so that my health will be good, because water is good in the body.
Meanwhile, stakeholders recommend frequent health checks during the harmattan as well as preventive measures such as the use of nose mask, avoiding cold water or beverages, regular exercise, as well as the use of moisturizers, among others. Antonia Ebahon, Trust TV News.
The need to address the falling standard of education at the primary level has again been harped. Speaking to Trust TV in Gombe State, residents called for urgent action to improve the welfare of primary school teachers, arguing that the current abysmal performance of some pupils at the level is tied to the poor remuneration and welfare condition of teachers. Our correspondent reports on the challenges facing both teachers and students in primary schools in Gombe State. The report.
At the primary level of education, children are expected to gain the basic and essential skills to shape their future. However, many parents and stakeholders are worried about the declining quality of education, saying it all begins with the welfare of teachers. Primary school teachers are sometimes grappling with a lack of incentives and poor working conditions, which residents say have led to the low morale among teachers. These, they say, in turn affect the quality of education delivered in classrooms. When teachers are well paid, trained, and provided with resources, they can focus on their work. But nowadays, the neglect of teachers has made quality education nearly impossible, and most of the problems are from the government. So they should do something urgent.
There is hungry with them, and there is hungry with the family, and so on and so forth. That is why we don't have strong education now. Lack of teachers welfare. That is the problem we have. It's a lack of teachers welfare. If there is welfare, well, this thing cannot happen.
The inability of teachers to properly take care of their families alone will continue to create a greater setback to a solid foundation in the education sector of the country. Residents are now urging the government to prioritize the welfare of primary school teachers by ensuring regular salary payment, providing professional development opportunities, and improving working conditions. There is pressure on classes due to overpopulation and an unsustainable salary scale for teachers. This makes life difficult for many teachers who are mentally stressed to take care of pupils in their classes. So the government has to, as a matter of urgency, review teachers' salaries to strengthen primary education, which is the backbone of education. Education experts warn that failing to address these concerns will have long-term effects on education in the future. The question now is whether the government will take the bold steps needed to uplift primary school education by investing in teachers' welfare. From Gombe, Hassan Koli reporting for Trust TV.
The Katsina State government has approved a new minimum wage of 70,000 naira for civil servants. The state governor, Dikwarada, announced the development during a press briefing on Friday. The adjustment comes into effect from December 1st, 2024. The move came months after President Bola Tinubu approved 70,000 naira as the new minimum wage for workers. This followed several negotiations by labor unions and private sector and the government over a new minimum wage. Moving to other stories, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives and Chairman of the Constitutional Review Committee, Benjamin Kalu, has emphasized that the ongoing constitutional review focuses on strengthening local governments, improving the judiciary, enhancing electoral processes, and addressing security challenges. Speaking during a committee meeting, Kalu outlined additional priorities including power devolution, gender equality, fiscal reforms, and human rights. He stressed the importance of local government autonomy, judicial independence, and the localized security framework to safeguard lives and property. The review also seeks to promote gender equity, ensuring fair representation of women in governance. Kalu highlighted the committee's goal to include enhancing fiscal responsibility, ensure equitable revenue allocation, and strengthening fundamental rights protection in alignment with Nigeria's aspirations.
We propose establishment of a collaborative framework, a one-stop shop where the Governors Forum can articulate their collective position and work with our committee to drive meaningful constitutional amendment, considering that a similar collaboration in the past enabled the devolution of powers from the exclusive to the concurrent lease in the areas of aviation, railway, power, and correctional services. A post-legislative scrutiny of the consequential responses to the amendment of the Constitution has been laid bare by the establishment of State Electricity Regulatory Commission by a good number of states. We also highlighted matters such as special seats for women and related gender issues, including state policing, devolution of powers, and local government reform, which have been of particular interest to the forum, especially following recent Supreme Court.
Mechanics and car service providers in Kano State say the removal of fuel subsidy has severely impacted Kano's vehicle repair industry, leaving them struggling. As a result, mechanics are reporting a drastic reduction in patronage, as many vehicle owners have sold their cars or reduced their use. Meanwhile, the high cost of spare parts and fuel has forced businesses to downsize, leaving workers and apprentices without livelihoods. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim visited a mechanic workshop around the city and now reports.
Operators of this mechanic workshop say this place usually bustles with activities following the influx of vehicle owners who come to effect one repair or the other, but the situation has drastically changed.
Before we get customer in a day like 5, 10, we go work for, but now sometimes we will be sleep must everyone in see because of the fuel issue.
For those providing car-related services like panel beating and complete engine overhauls, the situation is dire. They say they've been forced to lay off most of their workers and apprentices.
I have boys that are learning this work almost 13, 14 before, but now I cannot meet up because the money that I will give them for feeding in the afternoon, give them for money where they're going to house, I cannot make it well. I just manage with 5 now. We just helping them so that anybody know they go just play up and down. So but why I cannot meet up so that I have to tell them I have to release them.
Previously, we had up to 20 to 30 boys that we engage here. At times you see that this place has several engine blocks here that we are working on. But since the removal of the fuel subsidy, the number of customers has reduced, and also the number of boys that work here has to reduce also because we cannot cater for all of them. So nowadays you can see about 5 or 6 boys here. So even when these boys were making a living, things were hard for them. So you can imagine how things will be for them now that they don't have work. The situation is worse for owners of bigger vehicles who have stopped using them entirely as the cost of spare parts has become almost unaffordable. Everything for vehicle repairs, which used to cost 1,000 naira, now goes for 5,000 naira or more. This place used to have about 100 people at times, but many have stopped coming. Few sit around idle, and many who come here for repairs have sold their vehicles because of the high cost of fuel. Muhammad Salisu, a student running a motorcycle polish business after school, shares his struggles. According to him, on most days, he waits endlessly for customers and rarely needs to put on his work clothes. The high cost of fuel has made us lose customers. When we give them reasonable prices for our services, they refuse.
We are just begging government may just look to us and just help us so that maybe this way something can go down. Because we are just suffering. We are just doing the job. There is no gain, nothing.
Muna kira zuwa ga shugaban ƙasa.
We call on the president and the governor of our dear state to please intervene and support us to sustain our business and livelihoods. For Muhammad and many youth who depend on vehicle repair businesses to survive, the situation has left them struggling to cope. They are calling on the government for urgent intervention as their only source of livelihood has nearly come to a halt. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News.
In the business scene, the federal government has raised the amount small businesses could access on single-digit loans to 5 million naira to ensure the country's economic inclusive growth. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Bank of Industry, Olasupo Lucy, made the announcement on Friday during a town hall sensitization in Lagos on the federal government grant and loan scheme. Olusi, represented by Umar Shekarau, Executive Director, MSMEs and the BOI, praised President Bola Tinubu for the availability of 200 billion naira Presidential Intervention Fund for micro, small and medium enterprises. He said 75 billion out of the Presidential Condition Grant and Loan Scheme was targeted for MSMEs, adding that the initiative was expected to create thousands of direct and indirect jobs nationwide. The BOI boss said the fund facilitated through the Bank of Industry nationwide was already sitting in the bank and ready to be disbursed to beneficiaries at just 9% interest rate. While urging business owners to approach the BOI or register online without going through intermediaries, he said over 800,000 Nigerians have benefited, adding that there is room for including youth, women, physically challenged, and all Nigerians. And away from Nigeria, tension is mounting in Namibia after a controversial extension of presidential and parliamentary elections into the weekend, owing to irregularities that slowed down voting. The Electoral Commission of Namibia, ECN, announced on Friday that polling stations that should have closed 2 days earlier will remain open until Saturday night, admitting to logistical failures including a shortage of ballot papers and overheating electronic tablets used to register voters, which left them standing in queues for hours. The opposition Independent Patriots for Change Party, which hopes to end 34 years of rule by the Southwest African People Organization SWAPO, protested against the new extension but urged voters to cast their ballots. He is standing against SWAPO's Nutembo Nandi Ndatiwa, currently the vice president, who will become the mineral-rich country's first female leader if she wins. Now in the sports scene, Nigeria's women's national team will face their French counterparts this Saturday night in a friendly match, marking their fourth confrontation. This Saturday's match will be held at 9:10 in the evening at the Raymond Coppa Stadium, Angers, France. From the previous 3 clashes, Nigeria did not only lose all, they amassed a 10-goal deficit and did not score any. There are encounters in Germany in the 2011 Women's World Cup, that of 2019 in France, and a friendly match in 2018. But the friendly match in view may present a different ball game, as the initial aging Super Falcons is now being rebuilt and has back-to-back wins against Algeria. The recent managerial changes in the team could also be a factor. France Le Beau has also undergone managerial change since the Paris 2024 Olympics, as Laurent Bonnet took over from Renard Heavy, just as Justin Madugu has taken over from Randy Waldron at the Super Falcons. And with that, we come to the end of the news update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentaries. I am Hawa Gambo. Thank you for staying with us and wishing you a lovely end of the day.